Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome to the first random game of the day in a very long time. I really hope that everyone enjoyed Super Mario World Return to Dinosaur Land. But if you didn't, or you weren't watching it, and you've been waiting for random game of the day to come back, here it is, and hopefully you will enjoy the Guardian Legend. Now this is actually one of my #1 favorite NES games of all time. It is just a really awesome game. Now as we open here, it's going to look very much like a vertical scrolling shooter like I played 1943 not so long ago. And there's other ones out there too. You have things like a Life Force and stuff, even though they were horizontal scrolling and not vertical scrolling. This is a genre that I've really always liked, but if you don't like vertical scrolling shooters and you're like gonna close the video because it's like your most hated genre ever, just wait a second. This game is actually really interesting because it's kind of a twist between various genres, which you don't see super often in games. Usually games like, if it's an RPG, it's an RPG, or if it's an adventure game, it's an adventure game, but this one actually does a really good job at kind of mixing some genres together, and you'll see that soon. But anyway, we have the opening level here, and I'll get to the story of the game in just a bit. Yeah, so basically we have our main attack here with the B button, and if we press the select button, we kind of get this map screen here, which isn't too important to us yet, and we kind of have no special weapons at the moment, although there's tons of different things to collect in this game, and it becomes like a free world exploring kind of thing, and you'll see. So anyway, I really liked how you kind of move really fast at the beginning, and then it kind of slows down. And these guys here, you can kill them if you shoot them like 500 times, talking about the blue spinning things. But they take forever, and I'm kind of getting beat up on the side here because I'm not paying too much attention to what's going on. One thing I should note, that's kind of probably becoming really obvious at this point, is that this game is actually quite difficult, and I'm kind of sucking at it because I'm not paying a super massive amount of attention. But yeah, it's going to take a lot of skill to get to the end of this game, and if you think it looks difficult now, you're toast later, as it gets super awesome, I should say, because I love difficult games. We don't have enough really difficult games out there these days. But anyway, yeah, this is kind of the first boss. Nothing really too difficult. A whole bunch of different kinds of bosses in this game. Sometimes they kind of repeat, like like it'll be the same boss later, a more difficult version. But you can kind of expect that from things back in the NES days, especially this game was 1988. So it was like pretty early in the NES's life still. Well, kind of anyway, like 3 years after. But still, things weren't massively advanced at that time, and I can't believe I actually survived that. Those things there are items. As you can see, there's a heart there, and that would give me 5 health back, and that would make me like the happiest guy. So we just got it, and I somehow haven't died yet. Because yeah, unfortunately, all we have is this really weak weapon right now, so there's not really any fast way to defeat this boss, which is pretty much just like a defense system before we enter kind of the main area. So wow, that was almost catastrophic. So anyway, we get so after we kind of do the initial vertical scrolling shooter part, we get entered into this kind of place where we can kind of just walk around and do whatever we want. And we have some story here. Every once in a while we'll enter a room where there's kind of text in the background. I'm just going to talk over it. You can read the text as I'm talking if you want. But I'm going to explain the story in probably a better way than you'll understand if you read it. Basically what we have here is we have this planet called Naju. And what's it called? So basically this planet, a long time ago, it was like a friendly race lived on it. I don't think it was a human race, but it was a planet of things that, like, they weren't a threat to the people on Earth. But eventually, these life forms took over. Like, so basically the planet's just out there, everyone's happy, and then these aliens come, they take over the planet, and now the planet is headed towards Earth. And what they plan to do is, obviously, the aliens plan, once they get there, they're going to take over the Earth. So inside this planet, everyone's been killed off except for this one person who wrote this message that's in the back right now. And there's a self-destruct device, and once all of the different parts of the self-destruct device are activated, the planet will blow up. So the point is, this person, they're going to try to blow it up, basically to stop it from getting to Earth, and all the aliens will die and the Earth will be saved. But unfortunately, since we're reading this, what's it called? Obviously, they didn't get to activate it. They were killed by the aliens. Basically, you, this kind of robot that could turn into this flying machine, and then they have guns and all this kind of stuff. You're sent to this planet to kind of activate the self-destruct sequence, and then blow up the planet so that it doesn't get to Earth. Yeah, so basically they failed. And now, so yes, now we're in this room, and we have sort of 4 choices of a way to go. Is that map we looked at earlier when we pressed select. This is kind of just the main hub here. For what's it called? For like when the free roaming parts. This map has nothing really to do what's it called, with the vertical scrolling shooter part. So you do see there's kind of that flashing place on the upper left, where it wants us to go, and we're kind of that flashing part in the middle. The map gets a lot bigger. As you can see, we're kind of just there's kind of just this one spot in the middle of this big square. Although as we unlock more areas, the map will slowly be revealed. So it is quite a big game. Not super long. I mean, back in the NES days, things were tended to be a lot more difficult and shorter rather than really long. But I mean, you'd like never get game over because it's so easy. And we have a whole bunch of different stats here. And all of these are kind of teleporters, which will take us to the room either to the right, left, up, or down, depending on which one we go in. So we're going to head to the right, just because I think this is where some items are that we want to pick up. So basically, a whole bunch of different kind of free roaming rooms. It kind of looks like Zelda, kind of like Star Tropic Zelda, a whole bunch of different things from back in the day. As you saw, an enemy died, and then one of those kind of boxes appeared, and you destroy it, and you get an item like a heart or something like that, which will fill your health. There's a box that looks exactly the same in the middle here, but the ones that don't show up when you destroy enemies, they have like power-ups and stuff in them. Like this right here should increase our weapon power. So now we go back to here. Actually, which one did that do? That increased, I believe. Oh yes, that increased our shot speed, right. So let's see, so if we go down here, I believe we have a save room, so we get this guy here. And do you want me to record your progress? So what you do is you switch your weapon to no use, and then you press A, since A is the button that you use to shoot your special weapon. And since we have no special weapons at the moment, the only one that we can select is no special weapon. So we press A, and we get this screen, and at the bottom we have a massive password, which like no one is ever going to waste their time writing down. No, I'm joking. I have played through this game many times, written down many passwords. It takes forever. But yeah, since back in the day, 1988, not too many games really saved back then. I don't think any games saved back then. So anyway, word check. And that lets you enter it yourself, just so you can kind of check if you wrote it down correctly. And it was wrong, and then the above was right. So then we can go out. And yeah, this blue guy is apparently like a cameo from another game made by the same company. I'm not really 100% sure about that. So anyway, if we go up here, we will enter sort of a shop area. So in this room there's a creature, and they'll exchange stuff for chips. So as you see, we have 50 chips down there at the bottom. We can collect chips in those boxes and stuff that enemies drop. Right now we can only hold up to 50, although as the game goes on, we will be able to hold more. And we can buy these weapons right here. This one only costs 50, so of course it would make sense to buy that. And if we go over here now, we have one of the special weapons. And if we press the A button, we can't use it because it also costs chips to use your special weapon. But don't worry, because I believe if we go to the right one more time, and then we go down, we should have no trouble getting some chips. These are all chips right here. Now, all of these boxes contain chips in them. Now, what's it called? Basically, you destroy this. These blue ones, I believe there were 20 each, yeah. And now we can shoot the special weapon. All special weapons use a different number of chips. As you can see, after holding it for like a year, it actually goes down by 3, and then you can just get the blue things back. And then you have the chips back. But yeah, overall, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of weapons, and it's really cool because each of the weapons can both be used in the free roaming part and in the vertical scrolling shooter part. So I mean, it's really neat that you're able to use it in both places. Some of them work a bit differently in both like the free roaming and the vertical scrolling shooting. But overall, you actually get some really cool weapons. And as you can see, the weapon kind of has a blue border around it. If you collect another one of the exact same weapon, it will actually level up the weapon, so the border will turn green, so it's a level 2 weapon. And then if you get another one, it will turn red, so it's a level 3 weapon. So, I mean, you can even get stronger versions of the same weapon as the game goes on. One of the cool things about this game, it has a few glitches in it that you can use to your advantage. One thing right here, chips. It doesn't really matter right now since there's so many right here, but in other places, if you can have a blue chip, and then you can kind of have a spot where you can kind of hit it on a diagonal, you can kind of just keep walking into it and it won't disappear, and you'll keep getting chips. So I mean, if you're really low, and say your maximum at this time is like in the few hundreds, and there's only one blue chip, you can use that to kind of stock up on them. But anyway, this is just kind of a one-time thing each time you start playing, because now if we go back, all of that will be gone. So you only really get one shot there to fill up your chips. And we have some letters here, this indicating that we're kind of on the east side of the main hub. And this right here is one of those teleporters, but it has a symbol on it. Now if you look up at kind of the top right, underneath where it says shot 16, you see key. And right now we don't have any keys, although we are going to need the plus key in order to use the teleporters with the plus symbol on them. That was a red chip right there, worth a bit more than the blue one. I believe it also gives you a bit of health too. Actually, I think all of them give you health. I don't remember exactly what every kind of weapon does. Now, a lot of places, this has some random enemies that appear. Although you don't have to destroy all of the enemies. It's not like any treasure will come out or anything. There's maybe some help. But right here, that alarm going off means that this is a boss room. Now, one cool thing you can kind of do is it kind of tries to lock you into the boss room, so you kind of have to fight it and you can't escape. Although if you stand on the edge here, you can still kind of move, although I accidentally went into it. Basically, you don't have to fight these kind of bosses right here. Although if you do, they're going to drop like a special weapon or an upgrade, like for more health and things like that. So it's usually pretty good to beat them, especially since we're at the beginning of the game. They're not really an issue. This guy just kind of comes out of nowhere. I guess we have the special weapon we could be using on him too, actually. Should probably be a lot more effective. Actually, I don't even know if that's hitting him. Of course, different special weapons are more effective on different enemies and stuff like that. So part of the fun is kind of finding what works best with different things. So this guy's kind of just not even doing anything really difficult, kind of just going around, and we'll kind of do that, and kind of not even paying attention anymore. Hurry up and die! God, this is taking like 4 years. I don't remember this guy taking so long. I should have gone around and picked up more of the special weapons that you don't have to fight bosses for before doing that. So anyway, we got that, which is some health, and it also dropped this blue guy. Now when we get the blue guy, I believe it increases... No, it didn't increase our chip total. What did it do? Did it increase our health? Man, what did that guy do again? I'm actually not 100% sure what the blue guy did. I'm sure when we collect another one, I'll be able to point it out. I feel kind of ashamed. I think it increased our health, although I'm not 100% sure. So anyway, there's another kind of teleporter there, which we do not have a key for. Interesting note is that points actually do matter in this game. And by getting points every certain increment, I think it's like every 100,000 or something, your HP increases. I know that there's some kind of method to that, although I'm not 100% sure. Now, right now I'm kind of just showing everyone kind of what the different corridors look like. Let's see if we go in here. What's this one again? This guy wants to sell me something for 500, although I'm not even close to having that much. And that guy wants to sell me a special weapon for 300. And of course, the ones that are really expensive, they're really good weapons. But unfortunately, we are not able to buy them at the moment. So let's see here. These things, they're not really a pain, although they take like 1 billion hits to kill. So I mean, usually in rooms like with enemies and stuff like that, it's best to just run by them and only kill ones that are like an immediate threat. You know, some enemies just take a ridiculously long amount of time to kill, but luckily those ones that do that, they're not usually too difficult to just kind of run by. So let's see, these guys here. Do these blue ones? Yeah, the blue ones give you barely any health. The red ones give you a bit more than that, and the hearts give you, I believe, a whole 5 back. Let's see, what's down here? Down here, we have this, and I believe this will take us back to kind of the main area that we're in. Actually, no. This is actually something completely different. I'm actually not going to talk about what this room is, because it's kind of a spoiler. But anyway, let's keep proceeding on to the left here. Actually, what is down? What is in this one? All the corridors sealed. If you need to know how to remove the seal, ask the person who sealed it. To remove the seal at corridor number 1, fire at the gate. All the rooms leading to the corridors are locked. So use the warp panel to get into the room. To use the warp panel, blast through the cover. You also need a key for the panels. Basically, corridors are what lead to the vertical scrolling shooter segments. Now, some of them, they open automatically when you get to them. Although some of them, there's some kind of trick to open them. And that one was kind of describing one of the tricks that you need to know. Although, once I do it, I'll explain what it was talking about. Although, what's it called? There are some much more difficult ones, like stand in the room for 2 minutes without touching anything, and then the corridor will open. Although, of course, I mean, there is a way to figure that out without just guessing. But it's still kind of neat that there are some things like that. So basically, we got another special weapon. Now, this one right here, this, when you press the A button, it makes this huge kind of, it's almost like a shield from Mega Man, like the wood shield. Kind of makes it go around you, and you can destroy enemies with it and stuff like that. And as you saw, I just got enough points there, so we got an extra bit of health at the bottom. We went from 9 maximum HP to 10. And here we have a blue chip. We're not able to go down there. Yeah, so basically, like I said earlier, it wants us to kind of go to the top left there, although I'm kind of just walking around right now and picking up some of the weapons. This right here, the sword, the beam sword, is one of my favorite weapons. Basically, when you hold the A button, you just use the sword, and it's super powerful. The range kind of sucks, but still, it's really good to use. And yeah, it's a pretty awesome weapon actually, and you can even use that, like I said, while you're in the ship. So it's pretty good for defeating bosses. Kind of just get real close and just slice them to pieces. It's pretty fun. So let's see if we go up here. What do we have here? That'll just take us back to the starting room. Bottom right here. Let's see. So moving on, more to the right. Let's see, dead ends and things like that. Let's go down here for a second. Is this? So if we go there, oh, so we can actually go in this one. Which one's this? Yeah, I knew that would happen. You need a special weapon to break. So basically, it's saying seal number 6. You're just gonna have to go through all your special weapons and see which one is able to open it. Now, we're not anywhere near Steel 6 yet. So, still have a lot of time to pick up more weapons before then. And I'm pretty sure I've never really had an issue with that. I've always had the weapon that you need to destroy it when I get there. But basically, if you didn't read that, you wouldn't really know how to open Steel 6. But anyway, going to keep kind of walking around the map here and get to that top left corner where we can go to where it wants us to go. Now, there's a whole bunch of different themed areas. As you can see at the bottom left there, it says we're in Area 0. There's a whole bunch of different themes, like underwater, forest, and stuff like that. And, of course, the way things look changes and stuff like that. This is just kind of the main hub right here. It's really the only place that has, like, the grayish walls. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of different music and stuff like that. I really love the music in this game. I'm kind of just running through everything for some reason. I got this, didn't I? No, I didn't get this? Like, it's... No, I think I went down instead of across to this corner. But anyway, I have another weapon here. And this one right here, this was actually the first weapon I got the first time I ever played. This one, you just hold the A button, and you shoot kind of these more powerful shots. Now, you can use this in the ship, too. And the cool part about using this weapon when you're in the ship is that you can shoot in all 8 directions. So, I mean, even though the ship always faces, like, towards the top of the screen, you can shoot behind you, to the left, to the right, to the diagonal, and stuff like that. So it's overall a very good weapon for the vertical scrolling shooter parts. Now, I believe we're supposed to go in here. Yes. This is quarter number 1. Now, it said something about shooting to get the door open. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to shoot on the door, like what's it called, like 1 billion times until it opens. So that open there. So select the sword special weapon. And now, once that opens, you can jump into there, and you get to watch the amazing, awesome transformation sequence into the ship. And there we go. So another vertical scrolling shooter part. So that's really how cool it is. I mean, it's a really decent mix of the vertical scrolling shooter parts and then the overworld exploration parts. So basically, if, as you might have read in the opening kind of message after the first vertical scrolling shooter part, it said there was 10 things that you had to activate for the self-destruct sequence. Now, what's it called? There's more than 10 vertical scrolling shooter parts. So that's what they mean, basically. Vertical scrolling shooter parts, 1 to 10, are sort of, you have to beat them all. Although there are more than that, although all they do is give you items and stuff like that, and they're not necessary to beat if you actually want to beat the game. Now this would be a cool time to kind of show you this weapon, and how you can shoot to the left and stuff like that, and all the different angles. But yeah, overall, this game sure does throw a lot of stuff at you during different parts and stuff like that. Maybe we should use this. This would probably be pretty cool to kind of help destroy some things on the sides and stuff like that. I mean, it gets a lot more difficult later on. I mean, we're just at the beginning. We're nowhere yet. I mean, luckily things aren't taking out too much health. So we usually have a chance to get, like, hearts and stuff like that. What's it called? Before it really matters. But other than that, later on in the game, you just get bombarded by so much stuff. You can start a vertical scrolling shooter part and be dead in, like, 15 seconds. That's how insane things get. Although, of course, your weapons and stuff get better too, so as long as you learn how to use your weapons in the most effective ways, you will be able to get by most of the parts, especially with some of the weapons you get later on. If you use them wisely, you'll be able to get by some parts quite easily, unlike if you didn't use the weapons to the best of their ability. Now, one of the items I just picked up back there, that actually gave you 10 HP, although, so we didn't really need any of it. Too much of it. But yeah, that's what that does in case people were wondering. So, one of the really cool things at the bottom, it says shot 10. So basically, that calculates how many times you can use your weapon based on how many chips you have. Now, I really like that, so you don't really need to calculate, okay, so each shot uses up this many chips, so that I have that many. It just kind of tells you right off the bat. Now, I mean, the sword, it doesn't really work. I mean, it kind of calculates, like, how many seconds you're able to use it for. So, I mean, I could press A, like, 30 times, although, it won't use up one shot. So, yeah, basically, I have 9 seconds of the sword. And if we use this here, like, 38 shots. So, you can see every time I'm shooting one, it kind of goes down. So, if I hold A, yeah, so basically it goes down 1 each second and stuff like that. Now, I'm not even really trying here. So, let's see. Please be some health or something like that, which not really that useful. But yeah, overall, the water vertical scrolling shooter parts are actually some of the most boring. Not the best to show at the beginning of the game, but for whatever reason, they just have, like, very repetitive parts, and they even have parts where, like, nothing really happens. I'm not really sure why they're like that. But, I mean, the vertical scrolling shooter parts get a lot better as the game goes on, and even the free-roaming parts they get a lot better, too. Basically, you never really need to worry about running into the sides or anything like that. Anything that looks like it's elevated is just for decoration. Anyway, we have a boss here. So we got this guy. Now, what is the best strategy for this guy? I usually just go all out and kind of kamikaze with the sword, since he doesn't do too much damage, really. And that usually works out well for me. I mean, if you have enough health to do it, why not, right? Anyway, so there you go. We got the moon key. So now we can go through all of the teleporters that have the moon-shaped symbol on them. And there was one in the room before we went into the vertical scrolling shooter part. And there you go. And the sides kind of just blow up on it so you can tell that you've beat it before. And we get a special weapon. You always get a weapon. What's it called? When you beat a vertical scrolling shooter part. So that's why, like I said, even the ones that aren't necessary for beating the game, it's still good to do them. Now let's see. So right here would be a perfect spot to show off that trick I was talking about with the chips. Now let's just kill enough of these guys so they're not really a pain. Now if we do... Okay, so if we do this right here... No, that's not going to work. That got screwed up. No. Oh, darn it. Let's see. So if I go back, I do that. Oh, so basically I was trying to do that glitch, although I accidentally destroyed the wrong things. But I was going to try showing you how you can pretty much get infinite health. I believe there's another place like that coming up, though. But anyway, see, so we can just walk by these rooms here. A lot easier to just walk by things in the beginning of the game. Enemies get a lot more kind of in your face later on. Now, is this a boss room? I turned down the volume too much to be able to hear the alarms, unfortunately. So let's see, right here we have an item, and we get multi-way shot. Cool. This one right here. I'll try to show off as many of the different items as I can. As long as I remember to. This one here, it's pretty much like the one that went around us that was right here, except this one's more of a shot, and it kind of just goes forward, which is pretty cool. Anyway, we have a heart there, which is pretty great. Also, if we press select and you look at the map now, you will realize that the parts that we can now access with the moon key have been revealed, so I really like that now, so you can kind of tell where you need to go. And it also shows in flashing the different corridors that you need to beat in order to progress in the game. So if we go up here... Whoa, 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 whoops. So basically I kind of got destroyed by that guy. Actually, that was really cheap. That is one thing about this game you will notice. Oh wow, wait, I didn't die. I went into the save room, whoops. Because usually when you die, it takes you to the save room anyway, so I thought I had died? That was actually really silly. Yeah, one thing you'll notice about this game is that there is hardly any invincibility in between hits. So wow, I am very lucky I actually just got that there. But anyway, so if we see this, and then we do this, you will see how we can kind of just stay here, and we can get as many chips as we want. So that's a really useful trick if you need them. But wow, that was actually really stupid. But luckily, even though I died, we started right there. So yeah, luckily when you die, it takes you back to the last checkpoint room you went to, and even if you haven't been to a checkpoint room for like half an hour and say you've collected a whole bunch of items in that half an hour, when you go to the last checkpoint room you went to, you won't lose all of the items that you got, luckily. So luckily, it's like even if you don't save right away, you'll still be able to keep all of the items that you get even if you die. Now this right here, Corridor 11, this is one of the corridors I was talking about that you do not have to beat because it's not one of the ones from 1 to 10, but we'll do it anyway. Just for a few items, stuff like that. So let's see. Of course, since we're in the underwater world, the level will still be underwater, although, like I said, there's a whole ton of different varieties and stuff of different kind of levels that we can do. Let's see here. So yeah, so basically, the underwater world. So of course, all the shooting levels are going to be underwater themed. Although, like I said, there's a whole bunch of different themes, and it gets really good too. Let's see, I really like the sword, so let's use that. Very good for destroying enemies in front of you. Not so good for when they come up from other directions. But yeah. And another interruption, just a quick pausing, just because it seems like I always need to do something. People always need me while I'm recording for whatever reason, and I can never wait. So anyway, back to this. So basically, the vertical scrolling shooter levels, I mean, some of them are similar. I mean, obviously, depending on what world you're in, you're going to encounter different enemies. Now, the ones in the underwater parts, they aren't the most interesting. There's like the fish that kind of stick to the side and stuff like that. Obviously, you're not going to see fish enemies and stuff like that in like the forest world or anything like that. But yeah. So what's it called? So I mean, I really like this game, and I mean, I hope that a lot of people are going to give it a shot. Especially if you've never heard of it before. I remember before I even became a huge video game collector, I read about it on the computer. I was reading, I think it was like a list of like top 100 NES games of all time or something like that. Obviously, just someone's opinion, but it was still fun to read through. And I thought this game looked so cool. I mean, I read about it, and it's like a mix of like Zelda and 1943, like two of like my favorite NES games. So I went and picked it up. I mean, it was just so much fun. I was blown away by it. Such a great game, especially if you love difficulty and stuff like that. Like, overall, it's not too difficult in the start, but as you will see, it gets a lot more difficult, and I really wish I had my sword. Because this guy, it's a lot more easy to beat when you have special weapons, so anyway, just kind of sit back and relax while we kind of shoot at him for like a year. Now, this is one of those bosses where, like I said, they reuse a few bosses, but I mean, there's quite a few vertical scrolling shooter parts. I mean, heck, even games like 1943, I mean, they use pretty much the exact same bosses and like added a few more guns onto them. So this guy, like, you will be seeing him again, but he'll be like orange. He'll be like a different color to indicate that he's stronger and stuff like that. But still, pretty interesting boss. Well, I mean, actually, it's kind of obviously an easy pattern, but like later on, if you fought him, obviously be a bit more powerful and stuff like that, and have a few more attacks. Now, let's not try to die here. I really wish I had some sort of item I could use. Let's see, so... Oh, no, okay. Come on, Andrew, concentrate. You can do it. You can do it. No. That. But yeah, like, one of the things I was talking about is, like, hardly any invincibility time. If you get stuck in one of those, like, really, like, long shots that he shoots out, like, you just get destroyed because, just, like, as long as you're inside it, you're constantly getting hit. Now, there's 0 health, which is pretty great. Yeah, you do get a 0 in this game, which is pretty cool, actually. So it's not like I'm cheating or anything like that, and using infinite health. So there we go, 11, we got I believe we got like an extra, what's it called, heart, life container there. So we went up from 10 to 11, and we luckily escaped there. Thank goodness. And I never pointed this out, but at the bottom there, you can see now we are now in Area 1. And also there's coordinates to the right too, which are kind of cool. And those correspond to like where you are on the map. So anyway, we get the grenade power-up. And when you press the A button, it throws this grenade, and it's actually pretty cool, kind of like watching it kind of go up and hit the ground, and the explosion is pretty effective against enemies too, I have to say. Let's see, so what else have we got in this area? We're pretty much done. This sort of section of the underwater part. Although right here we have a boss, so that's going to close in. And we have a guy here. Let's see how grenades do against them. Hopefully pretty well. One thing I usually do is if you throw the grenade kind of like in front of you, they'll usually kind of run into it. Well, it's not working so well. Let's kind of sword the heck out of this guy. Ugh. Die. It's not really working. I don't know how I didn't just die right there. Maybe, let's see. What else we got? Oh. Ugh. Come on, don't die. I actually don't know how I survived that at all. I swear I'm not using cheats. So this guy right here, he increases your chip totals. Now as you see we have 100 chips. And also, the more chips you get, the more powerful just your normal shot gets. Like this is just the normal B shot that like really sucked before. It's kind of like in Zelda, how when you have full health, your sword kind of gets like the beam shot. Well, here, when you have 100 chips or more, your shot turns like this. Although you see, if we use up some of those chips, now that we're under 100, our B shot goes back down to the way it was. Now, as you keep getting chip upgrades, your shot just keeps getting better and better. So, like when you have over 400 chips, your normal shot's like really awesome. That's actually a lot like Star Tropics. How when you have 6 hearts or more, your yo-yo turns into the shooting star, and then when you have 11 hearts or more, it turns into the supernova. So basically, that gives you a reason to not completely just abuse your chips and kind of try to keep it as high as possible. But of course, once we get more, like once our max goes higher than 100, it's not going to be such an issue, like keeping that good shot. But like I said, it's like every 100 or so, your normal shot kind of upgrades, which is really cool. Let's kind of see what we have going on here. It's kind of pointing us into this massive circle, and this one is for some reason, what's it called? Just like that. Let's see. So let's go over here. I don't think we really went too much to the right, unless I'm wrong. We'll see. What is over here? No, it's just the boss room. Sometimes, like, you never know which one where a boss is. Nope, not that one. I had to take a second to kind of just concentrate on the music. Let's see. So like I said, we've never been over here. What kind of item is this? We get the V sword, which is pretty cool. So let's get out our normal sword. And obviously the normal sword just comes out in front of you. But if we grab the V sword, it comes out the side. So you can kind of spam through enemies like that, which is actually pretty cool. And we do have a boss for you. Let's see, what kind of boss are we going to be in for this time? We kind of just abuse the sword. Let's see if we can do that. I was hoping it would die, although it didn't end up happening. Although this is a good time to kind of demonstrate my point of that when you die and you haven't been to a room in quite a while, you still keep all of the items that you kept. Like, what's it called? Like, even before the last time that you saved. Now, how do we get back down there again? Looks like if we go to the right, might be able to go down? Yes. So let's go down here. And to the right. And we can actually be a bit more serious this time. Yeah, you have infinite tries to kill bosses and stuff like that, so I mean, there's not really too much pressure. Fortunately, I don't have 100 chips though, so we kind of have the lame shot back. Although, hopefully with the use of special weapons and stuff like that, we will be able to defeat him. Kind of just stand here and attack. Yeah, usually green is kind of like the weakest, and it kind of like moves on to like blue and then red, I think, as far as the different stages go of enemies and bosses. So right here, we get this crystal thing. And this, what it does, is it just shoots this one really powerful but slow shot directly in front of you, which is it's pretty useful, especially for like bigger enemies like bosses and stuff like that. Since bosses don't have invincibility time either, I mean, I guess it kind of works both ways. You're at that disadvantage, but bosses are as well, luckily, too. Let's see, kind of moving over to the right, and continuing on, the overall kind of get shots like that. We can kind of break this thing here and abuse the glitch and get as many cheats. There's actually a few different glitches. There's one that kind of lets you walk through walls, which it's not too useful right now, although it gets really cheap near the end of the game, how you can kind of break through this maze. It's actually kind of funny. But anyway, I've been playing for about half an hour, so I think I'm going to call it a day. I mean, what else do we have here? So basically you go down and there's another place where the moon key will get you into. And then from there you'll find another key which will open up another area. And then eventually you'll activate the self-destruct sequence and fight the final boss. So I mean, it's a really fun game. I really recommend trying it if you have an NES. Definitely look for it. And how did I not get this guy before? Here is another maximum chip upgrade. I thought it was weird that I didn't get one before I went into the water area, because I could have sworn there was one in sort of the main hub, but I somehow missed it. But anyway, I mean, it's just such a fun game. One of my favorite NES games. It's so underrated that it's not even funny. Definitely try it out if you ever get the chance. And yeah, you won't regret it. It is just so much fun. But anyway, I think that's where I'm going to end today's random game of the day. One of my favorite NES games, and I really hope you try it out. Especially if you're a fan of vertical scrolling shooters and kind of free-roaming adventure games, kind of like Zelda. And even if you're not a fan of either of those things, maybe this game will convert you, because it's just so good. But anyway, I think that's all I'm going to do for today. So let's just go over here for 1 second. Now that we have 150 chips, don't forget that there actually was a shop back here, so we can kind of go in here and we can buy some items. And yeah, after you bought the item in the room, they just say any luck for whatever reason. Now there's a 200 weapon, there's a 100 weapon, and we already have that weapon, so let's grab the 2, and I'll show you guys what this one does. Or actually, maybe I should have grabbed the other one just to show you how it will turn green to show that it's a level 2 weapon. But I mean, you guys believe me, right? I'm not lying about that or anything like that. But let's see. So basically the 2 kind of does this. So it's kind of like the other one. That kind of, it's like the other kind of shot that this one shoots too. And it's also kind of homing too, which is pretty neat. Like that. So it's a pretty good weapon. And it only takes 1 chip per shot. But anyway, that's where I'm going to end off today. So basically, if we record our progress, well, we have to go to no use, and then press the A button, it saves everything, your score, your items, your chips, all of it. So that's why the password needs to be so complicated to remember all that. So basically, if you want to start playing the game and you don't feel like doing everything I just did, use that password right there, start from where I started, and I mean, have fun, because it's just such an incredible game, and I really hope that more people get it a shot, because it's so underrated. And it'd be cool to see it getting a bit more attention out there, too. But anyway, I think that's all I'm going to do for today. That was quite a bit, actually. All that concentrating while talking. I mean, this is just the beginning. So much more to do. And it just gets even better. It only gets better from here. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you'll try it out. And hope to see you next time for something different. So thanks, and see you later.